How are you all? I miss you. I miss your drama, your jokes, your pranks, the way you scream, the way we play together, the way we learn together. I have missed you so much. Okay, today this is the first edition of our literature class online. We shall be treating this time. Let's focus on a drama again. I know you enjoy drama, don't you? Yes, you do. You do enjoy drama. So we're going to be treating an African drama. You know African drama now? Yes, a kind of drama that is written by an African in an African setting for the, not really for the African audience, but in an African setting and having African mentalities. That is African drama. So I'm pleased to introduce to you the book Let Me Die Alone. Don't let me die alone. But then that's the title of the book. Let Me Die Alone. Okay, the author is John K. Kagbo. That's the author. He's a Sierra Leonean. You've heard of that country? Yes. Those of you who watch football. Yes, and everyone. Yes, Sierra Leone. So that's the book. It's a drama, a play. Yes. So assuming we're in class, oh, how I miss you. We would act this out in class. You know, like the way we used to. Okay, so it is a drama. It is a powerful tragedy. What is a tragedy? Where you're thinking, tragedy. What does that mean? Tragedy is a kind of drama or a play or a story which ends on a sad note. Sad note, what do we mean by that? Death, disaster. We pray this COVID-19 issue doesn't end like a tragedy. So let's go on. It is a tragedy. Why? Because there are many fatalities. Many people died in the story, and you know, I cried when I read it. Buy this book. It is very important. This is what we shall be using. Okay. So let me give you a brief introduction or a brief note about the writer. The writer's name is John K. Kagbo, or in full, John Kolosa Kagbo. He was born in Sierra Leone in 1954 and he died in 1992. Even 1992, most of you were not born. He attended the Prince of Wales Secondary School in Freetown, where he sat for his General Certificate Examination, GCE, and got distinction in English language and literature. He joined some theatre groups in the country and later founded his own theatre group called African Heritage Workshop and did plays like Let Me Die Alone, Poyotong, Wahala, Tabita, Broke Ose, to name a few. Let Me Die Alone was his most popular play, but Poyotong, Wahala, Tabita was the one that made the then APR government to chase him out of Sierra Leone because that play criticized government corruption and human rights abuse. Generally, when we're talking about this man, John K. Kagbo, he writes, most of his plays, he writes to illuminate, to show, to express, to display, to expose the ills of the society. ILLS, ills, that is, bad things happening in the society. Bad things like corruption, embezzlement, indiscipline, thuggery, all those things, you know. Yes, that is what his writings focuses on. He would look at the bad things people are doing, even if they are politicians, and he would write it. So when he wrote that, he got into trouble and he was forced to go into exile. Guess where he went to? Nigeria. He came to Nigeria. Yes, and Nigeria, you know, Nigeria, home for her. Nigeria accommodated him and he continued his writing and he was able to express himself better than when he was in Sierra Leone. Take clap for Nigeria. Another one. Okay, let's go. So he went to Nigeria and worked with some Nigerian electronic magazines. He later went to the University of Ibadan where he got a diploma in theatre arts. Who wants to study theatre arts? You need to read more of this man. Unfortunately, he died in Lagos on the 3rd of December 1992 after a prolonged disease. May his beautiful soul rest in peace. Really, all writers have beautiful souls. May their souls rest in peace. Imagine someone is dead and we're still benefiting from his work today. Isn't that marvelous? Yes, it is. In this play, John K. Kago used effectively the English language. Surprisingly, most of his plays are written in the Creole language. Creole. K-R-I-O. Creole is an indigenous African language. One of the languages in Sierra Leone. Okay, he writes most of his stories in that language, but in this one, he used English. And he was able to infuse some Creole language elements, as in some of their words, some of their proverbs, some things like that. He infused it into it. Who else does this? Wole Soyinka does this. Who else does this? Chinua Achebe does this. Okay. Now, another thing we shall be looking on is the background to the play. Background to the play. If you have a textbook, your exam focus, that's the first page. You can read it on your own. If not, I will send the note. You will copy it. So, what's the background to the play? Actually, the central character in this play is Yoko. That's her name. Y-O-K-O. Yoko. So, it's about our struggle to lead a village, an African village, despite being a woman, to be the chief, you know. Have you ever heard of a woman king before? There are, but very few in number. So she was the leader. And it was also during the colonial times. As in colonial times. You remember colonial times? When the whites were still in Africa colonizing us, ruling over us, administering us. So, here, I think the name Yoko has been coined for her, but it is a real life story. It is something that happened. It is something that happened. So, John K. Kago took inspiration from the real life story of this woman, the life and time of Madame Koblo Gulama. That's her name. So he took his inspiration from her life. So what happened? Some of the few things that happened, he composed it into a drama. And this woman, she was, like I told you, she was a very beautiful woman, childless, because she chose to. Yes. When you read the story, you would understand more. She was childless because she chose to. And she was the leader, a very good leader of our community. During her reign, our community expanded geographically, economically. So, the betrayals she suffered, the discrimination against her gender, you understand? All these things are some of the things we will treat in later classes. Meanwhile, let me remind you, please get this book. It is very, very important so that we'll be able to flow along as we treat the themes, the literary devices, setting, and other things.